folks. Welcome to your Wednesday dose of wealth wisdom with me, Daniel Kennedy, your host. Same detail. I'm going to get right into it. So give me a moment. A bit of a different subject today. Not really to do with property, but more to do with how you see yourself, and when letting go, things don't really go wrong, is what I discovered today. So let me just get into it. Hello and welcome to your Wednesday dose of wealth wisdom with me, Daniel Kennedy, your host, founder of the KML Group, Home Hug Limited, Steadfast Design and Construction, and last but not least, Wealth Dragon Coach. So today we're going to be talking about coming to the realization that you're really not that important and why it's a good thing. So what happened today was, for the first time in a very, very, very long time, is that there are multiple jobs going on. So we had a job going on at York Road, we had a job going on at Edgbaston Road East, and we were snagging at York at Emily Street in the West Brom job, as well as receiving a delivery and doing repairs. And this was all organized by myself via WhatsApp. So sending out a few messages, having good people in place now that we've ironed out the many creases that it is when you employ people. And it was completely and totally smooth. Nothing went wrong, really. And that was very peculiar, because I've always felt personally that if I stepped away from things, it would be a complete debacle, a car crash, and I would have to come swooping in and try and organize things and make them better. But the reality is, it did not matter one single bit that I wasn't there. And it kind of made me think, well, actually, am I really that important? Is my time better spent doing something else? Am I unnecessarily focusing on the guys, on the blokes, making sure they do their work rather than doing my work? Because today I got an astronomical amount, like this is the amount of mail that I got through today. I got through 9 on 100 letters that have been building up because I've been focusing on maybe the small moving parts within the multiple businesses that I run, as opposed to looking at the big picture stuff. Like, I need to get my bills paid, I need to get my gas and electric sorted, I need to be calling up the energy suppliers. And what I'm going to do now is this is sort of like a trial run, because I'm due to leave the country for a month and a half as we do our huge raising finance run for the following year. So this is a bit of a test end. The whole company is going to be run remotely. Maybe it'll all crash and burn. I'm sure it won't, because we've got a great guys in places, and we've got the systems in place where I can control all the wages. I've got people to check on people. Everyone's checking on each other. Everyone's got a role, and there are no sort of gaps, or I hope there are no gaps within the company. And what I've found that I do personally as well is, once I've set up a business and it runs itself, I get suddenly loads of free time and I get bored, and then I set up another business, and then I'm my own worst enemy. And I take away all my time on this new business, try and set it up, try and make it better, systemize it. And then that generally tends to be the trend. And I'm finding I'm really pretty bloody good at it. But what I'm not good at is letting go. And that's something that will potentially hamper me in the long run. And I aspire to the people who have been in the industry like 30, 40 years, and they have very little to do with their Let's start that again, shall we? They have very little to do with their deals. They offload everything else. They systemize, have a few businesses here, maybe a training business, a development business, a sourcing business, etc., etc., etc. And they just tend to set up the new businesses, run them, and then don't really have too much input from what I can gather. And that's something that I'm going to try and find somebody to help me sort of make it more concrete in terms of the way that I manage people. And it's not a bad thing that I'm not important. Like, most people will think, like, why would people stay around if you're not having any input, or you're not running the company yourself and everyone's making money for you, but yet you're not exerting any effort? Because basically you can give things to people, create structures, and make people feel comfortable to be able to run these businesses for you. And you can structure it in a way where they make money as well. So we finished the job at Emily Street, and we've now come to the realization that we've lost a bit of money on it, but that's because the uniforms, the camera, the gimbal, the marketing, all was on that first job. So we should begin to see a bit of profit on this job, and it was slightly underpriced. And we're learning that with the PM and myself, and we're going to get better and better and better at this. And then we're going to hopefully going to scale it and be able to do larger jobs, because there's going to be a certain period in about a year's time when we finish all my projects, or KML's projects and home hugs, that we're going to be doing it for the public. And we will have really we've been at the bleeding edge of life of these HMOs. We're just only on HMOs. There's only a few builders that only do HMOs, and we're learning, we're getting faster, we're producing a better product. I'm ordering equipment from overseas, and then once the system is all set up, there's no reason why I need to do it again. I can just show the person how I did it, and then they can just replicate it, and then I can focus my time on other things. And basically, I'm rambling on a little bit here because I never thought I would ever be in this situation. I have a real problem with trusting people. And maybe there'll be an element of inefficiency if I take my eye off the ball completely. So I still won't be completely looking the other way, and I'll still have my toes in many pies, so to speak. But it really opens a lot of opportunity, and I'm getting closer to that passive life, is what I feel by the way that I'm. Just today, I'm just in absolute shock and awe. The subject was going to be points to improve working on someone else's project, but I feel this is bloody important. That you're literally, I'm a fart in the cosmos. I literally don't mean anything. The world will totter about without me, and it'll be perfectly fine as long as everyone knows what they need to do. People are in place where they need to be. You don't need to be too concerned, and it's actually quite a great aspiration to be at, is where you have businesses that are running themselves and you're not particularly involved too much, but you've set up the systems, you've set up the right people to give them the ability to make decisions. There's a clear chain of command. That's a real big plus that I think made today go so well. I know it's only a day and I'm probably preempting victory when there isn't one, but I'm just so much got done, and I didn't have to check up on people. I didn't have to run around. There was people all doing what they needed to be doing, and I can see how build teams could potentially do multiple jobs when they set it up like this, when they've got teams here and there, because you can just organize it from the desk. Like I was doing all paperwork, and then tasks came in, and then they were delegated and they were done. We took on a big order from China as well, and that all got done very quickly. And all I needed to do was pick one person up, and the rest of the team turned up. So having the logistics in place and the people in place, there really is no sort of ceiling that you can't potentially grow to. It's whether you want to or not, and if it's profitable, because you don't want to just take on people for the sake of it. So that's just a little bit of a thought for myself. It isn't really giving value to you. I'm just expressing a small sort of victory that probably isn't a victory, but I just wanted to share it because it's a massive shift in the way that I normally would think. I think don't trust anyone, don't get any relationships with anyone. Everyone's passing through, change is constant. That's the only thing you can be certain of. But hopefully this will be something that I'll probe and test and measure, and maybe get it more systemized, get it more efficient, and can set something else up and just replicate it. So that's my take on that. I'd love to know what you think about letting go of your businesses and letting them run themselves and putting people in place, and then you just sort of like manage the managers. Is that something that you aspire to? Or do you want to be one of those owner-run businesses and have that like great customer care? Because no business can sort of compete with that. The owner-ran businesses are always going to beat the bigger businesses. So it depends what sort of scale you want to go to. Right, and that's me for this evening. I'm going to head to bed now. Enjoy.